Hello, this is Rachel from the Shades of Orange. Today I want to do a spoiler-free review of The Deep Dark Descending by Alan Eskens, which I requested from 7th Street Books. I did so because Alan Eskens is one of my favorite authors. I believe that he is one of the most talented writers in the crime fiction genre today. He just writes the genre with a lot of confidence. His books are very well written, and he just has an incredible range, the ability to write very different stories. This one is book 4 in his series, but it's very loose in terms of a series, meaning that you can start in any order. You could start here without having read any of the previous books. They're just all loosely set in the same place in Minnesota and roughly follow the same characters, but again, you can read them out of order without any concerns about understanding or spoiling any events. This book particularly will appeal to fans of his previous book, The Guise of Another. This is another action-packed thriller and was just so much fun to read. To get into the actual synopsis, this book follows Detective Max Rupert, whose wife was killed in a hit-and-run accident years ago. He has found out that her death was not an accident. Instead, she was actually murdered intentionally, and the story takes off from there into a crazy revenge plot. Now, given the subject matter, you can expect that this is a grittier story. It does have some violence and vulgar language, which you know I always love. And the story is set over 2 timelines, one being the present, where he has found the killer, and the other set a few days back while he is still tracking them down. This book is not so much a mystery because you know roughly how it's going to end, and at the same time, it's not a psychological thriller. What I mean is, don't go into this book expecting some crazy twist or turn. Instead, it's more of a traditional thriller where it's more a take on the crazy cop gone rogue story, and you get exactly the story that you would expect, a very well-written version of that. In terms of character development, there wasn't as much in this book, and that's partially because this character has been introduced in Eskens' earlier books, so as someone who's read those, I was already quite familiar with him as a character. However, if you do start with this book, you're not going to find a lot of that character-driven subject matter in it. Instead, it's really more about the action, about the plot, about the driving narrative, which was a lot of fun to get into. It's a very fast read. I read it quite quickly over just a few sittings, and it was very enjoyable. Now, as you can probably guess from the cover, this book is set in winter. It takes place up north in the US near the Canadian border, and as a Canadian reader myself, I appreciate an author who understands cold, meaning that there's a lot of good references to frostbite and ice and just the understanding of what that does to the human body. It's a very atmospheric read and would be perfect to read in the coming winter months. I would definitely recommend reading it on a cold, chilly night while it's snowing outside. So as you can probably tell, I did enjoy this book and would recommend it to fans of action-packed thrillers. I would actually recommend all of Eskens' books to readers, whether they be newer to the genre or veterans, and are just interested in reading some really well-written crime fiction. I have done separate reviews on both his debut novel and his other 3 novels as a whole, so I'm going to link those at the end of this video. But if you do have any questions about this book or are interested in picking it up, please let me know down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.